Hi, this video is to show you how to simulate shading devices in combination with glazing compositions. If you're watching this, you're probably familiar to glass and thermal simulation. If you don't, just watch the other videos first. In order to add an integrated blind to this glass composition, simply click the plus button in the middle. Select the manufacturer, the kind of shading, the specific model of the shading device. This will upload automatically all the geometries, so you don't have to do this by yourself. And finally, the material, so you can get also a small preview of the material that you're using. In this case, color of slats. So the last option, specifically for Venetian blinds, is to select the tilt angle. Always note that the maximum tilt angle is defined by the producer because it depends on how the shading device is built. You have also some quick options in case you want the slats to be horizontal, closed, or in cutoff, which basically is the maximum opening for which the sun doesn't pass through the slats. And let's remember that according to norm, the simulation is always performed with frontal sun. So when we want to simulate a glass and shading composition, we are not allowed to use the standard calculation, which is for glass only, and we need to use the thermal simulation. And as previously seen on the other video, we have different options. When we want to declare values for the glass and shading simulation according to norm and, for example, produce a datasheet, always use the reference condition. So the values that we obtain are according to this norm, and at the end we get the temperatures. Now these temperatures are for a winter-like situation because this is how the reference conditions are. If we want a summer-like condition, we can choose the second option, summer conditions according to the norm. But let's remember that this is just an average warm situation. They're not critical. So we get a G-value that is more suitable for cooling load analysis, but we don't get much high temperatures since we are talking about 25 degrees outside. If you want to make a peak analysis also to understand if the shading device or the glazing unit go outside warranty conditions, use the weather-based data. Select System Maximum Temperatures, choose any location on globe, If you don't know what orientation to select, always try a few of them, but the most critical ones usually go from south to west, depending on where you are. The ground reflectance can be chosen between very low and very high values. I would suggest you to stay at 30, which is basically concrete. If we're analyzing a big situation, leave the time filter to 8. And finally, get weather data. Let's remember that this is not the worst temperature or worse radiation. This is the worst combination of both. And by simulating this glass composition, we can analyze the temperature of the elements. And let's remember that element 1 is the external glass, element 2 is the shading device inside the cavity, and element 3 is the internal glass. So the moment that we go below, we can see that external glass have reached almost 56 degrees, the shading device reaches 76 degrees, and the internal temperature is 40.9. So this is the temperature that needs to be analyzed and need to be according to warranty specific of the producers. Now the temperatures may vary from model to model, from shading to shading, from producer to producers, so please check this with the specific supplier. That's it. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.